Affairs don't begin in the bedroom. They begin in childhood, in the part of you that buried her truth just to be loved, the part that's now screaming to be seen. I'm Alex Croxford, and this is the Deeper Love podcast, where we name the shame, face the guilt, and help you find your way back to yourself. So let's begin.
Okay, I'm going to say something that you probably haven't heard from a lot of other coaches or mentors or podcasts. You didn't cheat because you were a bad person. You cheated because something in you was trying to survive. Not thrive, not expand, not completely implode your entire life. Survive. And I know that might sound a bit strange if you're still really stuck in the guilt or shame, or you're really trying to make sense of it. But I want you to see that even though it looked like destruction, underneath it was desperation. It might not have been conscious, you might not have realized, but that's what was going on. And I want to say this first, because this is what people accuse me of. I am not excusing betrayal. I'm not saying it was okay. I'm not saying that you did the right thing. But if you don't understand why it happened at the level your body understands, you'll never truly heal. You'll just stay stuck in shame, repeating the patterns, overcorrecting, trying to be more perfect, or trying to logic your way into forgiveness or mindset your way into forgiveness. And that doesn't work. Affirmations don't work. Logic doesn't work. Talking it round and round and round and round in therapy doesn't work. Because this isn't a mind level thing. This is a body level thing. Let me explain. Your central nervous system, we all have a central nervous system. It is our body's threat detector. It is constantly scanning, like so quickly, scanning what's going on outside of us to decide what is safe, what is dangerous. And it doesn't even come into your conscious mind. You don't hear it. It's just happening automatically. And it's not just looking for physical safety, like, am I going to get hit by that truck? Or am I going to fall off the edge of that cliff? It's looking for emotional safety, safety relationally. It's scanning constantly in the background, deciding, am I okay here? Am I safe here? Am I about to be rejected? Are they going to abandon me? Am I going to be attacked? Am I going to be ignored? Constantly. And when it decides that you're not safe, it acts. You don't even realize it's happening. You just act. And it might shut you down. It might stop you from speaking. It might send you running. It might send you towards chaos. But it makes a decision before your mind can catch up with it. And that's what has happened here. You didn't cheat because you were planning to blow up your life or because you were malicious. You cheated because your central nervous system didn't feel safe where you were. And it reached for the first thing that looked like a life jacket. Now, here's what this actually feels like, because this isn't all about whether or not our partner made us feel safe, okay? We have to switch that idea that there is going to be some magical partner out there that is going to equal safety inside of our bodies. That doesn't happen. So let's start here. You're in a relationship. You love him, or at least you think you used to love him, but you're not sure. Maybe you're not sure anymore. But something just feels a bit off. Perhaps you still feel like you're happy, or you should be happy, you feel grateful, but lying next to him in bed, you feel really lonely. Or perhaps you're sat at the dinner table and you're smiling and you're having polite conversation, but inside there's something that's just screaming or wants to say something and can't. There's a part of you perhaps that wants to say something, wants to share what's on her heart or her mind, but it's like there is a physical block, a lump in your throat that's stopping you from saying it. Or perhaps you say it, but it just doesn't land. They don't hear it. You can't communicate it in the way that you are really, truly wanting to. So perhaps you stop crying, or maybe you never cried. You don't need anything. You are the one that is hyper independent. I don't need anybody. I don't need anything. I am so easy breezy. And perhaps you go to the gym instead of feeling a feeling. You feel really anxious, and before you know it, you're like, oh, I've got to go to the gym because I have to try and wear off this anxiety that I'm feeling, or this pain in my chest. Or perhaps you micromanage everything. You become the one that needs to be in control all the time. You're micromanaging his calendar, your calendar, the social diary, your food. Perhaps you're fixated by putting all of your calories into your fitness pal, or you need to be the one that organizes all the holidays. Perhaps you silence any time you feel sad because actually you think deep down that sadness is weakness. You don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to show how you really feel because there's a part of you that's embarrassed by it. And you've probably been the strong one, the one that doesn't feel, doesn't need, doesn't want for anything for so long that you forgot what it's like to actually feel. And this is what I mean when I say the part of you that cheated was trying to survive. Because eventually the body breaks. The silence gets so loud, the numbness gets unbearable, and your central nervous system does what it knows to do. It feels so disconnected, it's going to reach for a shortcut to connection, to feeling less lonely, to feeling alive, even if it costs you everything. Your central nervous system is like your best friend. It's just trying to keep you alive. It just doesn't have a moral compass or doesn't understand the consequences of where it's taking you. And there are 4 ways that your central nervous system responds to danger. The scanning that it's constantly doing on the outside, communicating with your internal system what's happening on the outside. You might have heard these: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Most women I work with, they fawn. This was my absolute classic way that I learned to survive. They shapeshift. They become the really easy breezy wife. They please, they perform, they seem perfect on the outside. They know what they need to do in order to be loved, and they do it. They're the good girl. They're the one that achieves, that gets shit done, just to stay safe. Until one day, something snaps inside of them. Can't keep going like this anymore, because this isn't true. Others freeze, they shut down, they go numb, completely disconnected, almost disassociate from where they are. Others run into fantasy, chaos, intensity, the arms of someone else, a weird text relationship with someone, right? And it's not because they're selfish or they are morally dubious. It's because their body has decided this is the only way I can keep going. So, no, this wasn't calculated. This wasn't about moral failure. This was a glitch in the system that said, you're not safe, you're not seen, you're not alive. And your affair was like CPR. Definitely not for your marriage, but for you. And I know it's fucking messy. And God, I know how many people got hurt. I know how much you want to go back and undo what happened. But I also know this. Your central nervous system isn't evil. You are not broken. Your system just did what it had to do, or what it thought it had to do, to keep you alive. But here's the next truth you need to hear, full of the truths today. Until you create safety inside of your body, you will keep reaching for it outside. Even if you promise yourself that you are never going to do this again, even if you cut off all contact, even if you end the marriage that you are in and you get into a new relationship, because the brutal truth is that if the pattern that led you there was emotional disconnection, over-functioning, being the strong one, performing love, if that's still running in the background, your system will look for another way to survive. And the only way to change that is to come back into your body. Begin to learn the language that your central nervous system speaks. Start building safety from the inside out. Because your central nervous system does not speak the same language as your mind. That's why talking about it doesn't actually change anything. That's why just feeling shame and guilt perpetually will not get you anywhere. You have to start building safety from the inside out. And that is what we do in the softening sessions. We don't just talk, we feel. And I know that can feel really scary, but we have to take the time to let the parts that have been holding it all together all this time, little tight little army people trying to keep everything rigid and together and not too much of anything, we have to let them soften for a second. And we have to let the part of you that made that choice to go outside of your relationship speak. And not another going round and round about how bad you are and how you should have something better and you're a terrible person. Not from there, but from truth. Because here's the thing. You didn't need more willpower. You needed to be able to be the person who is driving the car of your central nervous system and not letting it drive you. And now, even though life feels like a fucking mess right now, you get to make a choice and you get to heal deeply. That's why I always say the affair is the symptom. It's the alarm bell that's going off. You now get to make a choice to stop living in survival. You get to choose a love that doesn't cost you your truth. And you get to come home. So if this episode landed, if your body felt that, then you're not alone. I really wish that I had had this episode for me about 5 years ago. Come join us in the next softening session. It's where your healing actually begins.
Thank you for listening to the Deeper Love podcast. If today's episode spoke to you, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're ready to go deeper, you'll find all the ways to work with me in the show notes. Until next time.